Check 1 2.
Early hump day, Wednesday. Check.
This thing on?
You might work it.
Hey.
Good morning. What's going on, first Sky Omaha peoples?
First Skyers.
Chad Chimers. Kind of rhyme there, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be in your next verse?
Maybe. Kind of chimey in the chat.
What's happening, y'all? Good morning. Wednesday, August 31st. Pops, good Wednesday morning, First Sky Squad and fam. Love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. You know what it is, your favorite day, Women's Wednesday. Women.
Hey, get ready to be delivered.
Stacey Jean says, good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends with some sunshine. Von Chapman gives us a good morning with sunshine as well. How you doing? Rome's Review says, oops, upside your head. I said, oops, upside your head. I said, oops, upside your head. I wonder if my voice is going along with the beat at all on the other side of the internet.
Yeah, you sounded good.
All right, that's what's up. What's going on? You listen to the funk this morning, Mira Sanchez? I understand. Good morning. Once again, welcome. Doggone it, welcome. Wednesday, August 31st, 2022.
22.
What's happening, Wanda Lewis? Good morning to you as well. All right. Y'all getting up early with us this morning on this Women's Wednesday. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
How y'all feeling on this hump day? Yeah. What's going on, Black Dynamite? Got up early this morning. Said, what up? Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, too. Judy Princess says, good morning, head cold. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm still battling these sinuses myself, these allergies.
Yeah, man. I'm on the tail end of, that little baby cold I received from Lil Mama.
The actual baby cold?
Yeah. It's like it didn't move down to my chest. It's like the slightest little cough, little scratch in the back of my throat. That's about it. Yeah. It's the most annoying.
Mark Matter says, good morning. Biking the gravy train for some stuffed and smothered. Boy, you do breakfast big.
Man, you gonna be able to ride back after all that? I'll have the itis.
Josh Tate says, best mornings to all. How you doing, Josh Tate?
Hey.
Good to see you, brother. We need to get together soon. Buddy will be in town pretty soon.
Next week, man.
Next week already?
Next week.
That's what's up. You have get a little rendezvous happening, get a little chat kickback going on. Anyway, it is Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. We're just waking up, trying to get in here and get the day going, man. Hump day. It's definitely feeling like a hump day for sure.
Trying to get over that hump.
Trying to get over the hump. Oops, upside your head. It's going down. Women's Wednesday. We got special guest Precious McKesson in the house that's coming through.
Hey,
and politicking with P, man. It's always a pleasure politicking with P. And then, of course, we have Kimara Snipes coming on through.
We'll see.
Let's see. Oh, wait. No, that's the wrong picture. Hold
on. No, we don't want to see that.
Yeah, we just playing. Kimara Snipes coming through because we'll be what's good in the hood with Kimara Snipes. That's what's up.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Yep. Hope y'all feeling good this morning, man. If you're not feeling good, change your mindset. Feel good. Just do it on purpose.
Mind over matter.
Shout out to Kimara Snipes for hitting me up this morning. My alarm short did not go off, and if she hadn't texted me, I'd have been snoozing right this minute.
Still counting sheep, collecting Z's.
Collecting them Z's. Black Dynamite says I had to get in, holler at y'all before getting off and heading to a work meeting. Boy, ain't nothing worse than a Wednesday morning work meeting.
Man, that could have been an email.
Of course, I guess Monday morning work meeting is worse than a Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the 630 crew. Let me know how the mix was over there on First Sky Omaha, the Listen channel.
Hey.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of good stuff. Carolyn Jack, you missed it. I played a little Sheila E this morning, a little Glamorous Life, all kinds of stuff on the radio channel. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the listen button any time of the day or night. Celebration of Black music. And yeah, go check it out. It's pretty fly. She gives us good morning with some Purple Heart. That's what's happening. Good morning to you, Purple fam. And thank you. Welcome for everybody. Thank you. Welcome to everybody that's up with us early already. Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. How you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, man. Like I said, just trying to get over the hump on this here hump day.
Yep.
Man, we're kind of talking before the show, man. Definitely, I'm in the same boat as you, man. Gotta get my sleep schedule back in order. Get my sleep schedule back in order. You know, like 1 or 2 nights of staying up to like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in the studio, and then everything is it's all downhill from there. So yeah, man. So definitely get your rest, everybody. Self-care, you know, it's important. It's paramount. So yeah, make sure you're getting your rest. That's a big part of it. But other than that, man, I'm good. I'm excited for today. Definitely, I guess got our wires crossed last week. But looking forward to having Kimara Snipes on, sister Kimara Snipes, telling us what's good in the hood, a new segment I'm excited about. And also we're working on a few other new segments and things behind the scenes. So yeah, just excited to see First Sky Omaha grow. We actually had a couple meetings yesterday that are looking pretty good, man. I'm excited about, you know, the direction things are going and just the growth that we have yet to achieve and obtain, man. All this is beautiful where we are right now. Definitely being that we did it organically, and you know, all the chat chimers, all of you are telling a friend to tell a friend, and we have grown that way. We definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I'm excited. There's still a lot left to be done,
man, and it can't be done without you. Not just for the chat, but also for the reoccurring sponsors of the channel as well. These things are starting to really come to fruition and pay off. And we'll have a lot more things happening soon, thanks to you and your help on us building this First Sky Omaha thing out. Also, don't forget, Buddy will be in town next week. What are your dates again?
I will be there from the 8th through the 12th. So we'll be broadcasting for our Friday and Monday episodes.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, definitely check in on that. We got some work to do on getting those things, getting the locations located, and really kind of put it together. It'll be fun again, you know, on the road, even though it's in town. It's all good. Be real fun. And of course, we'll have to all get together, friends of First Sky Omaha, and do what we do here in Omaha, which is like the number one sport, which is go eat somewhere. So yeah, so we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that when you get in town. You know how it is.
Man, definitely looking forward, excited to see it. We'll have little mama with me, so you know, it's looking forward to spending some family time, man. You know,
Nice.
my pops and my moms get to see the baby, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, man, just looking forward to, you know, being in the place. I'm coming back to DJ a wedding, so yeah, I'm kind of excited about that as well. Been going back and forth with the bride and the groom, and yeah, it's a good time.
That's what's up.
And is it Labor Day weekend coming up too?
Labor Day, yeah, Labor Day weekend. That's what's coming up next week, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. When is Labor Day? Where's the calendar at? No, I don't know nothing about no holidays. Let me see what's up. Something will tell me here on the.
It might be this weekend. I don't know. I know it's coming up.
It's Monday the 5th. Is Labor Day.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let us know if you have any plans.
Yeah. Is anybody doing it? Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of haps happening. I can tell you that. That, you know, we were talking about that, especially September 3rd. I think.
Yep. Saturday. Yep.
So many things happening that day that is geared towards our community. It's just like, how do you pick which one? So we'll be talking about that a little bit as well. And I talked to Calvin Williams, as a matter of fact, and we're probably gonna have him on Friday to talk about the upcoming concert. Speaking of September 3rd, is it September 3rd, that one too?
Yeah.
Jaquise and Carl Thomas.
Yeah, music in the mall.
Yeah, see, that's what's up with Right Rhino. They the mall popped up and they already got a major concert going on over there. They be on it.
Also, Beats, I saw on the just now on the flyer, Beats and Sheets karaoke.
Yeah, we just heard something about Beats and
Yeah,
Cheese, didn't we?
yeah. We're
Our
just hearing
Style.
it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a good time, man. So Ivan Alvarez too. Oh man. Yep, Josh
That's what's up.
Jones. Looks like it's gonna be a good time, man. Big shout out to everyone involved with this, man. Yeah, looking forward
Yep,
to speaking to my man Calvin, keeping the
yep.
people, with things to do.
There you go. Speaking of keeping the people with things to do, we got to talk about some things here coming up. So let's talk about
Yeah.
what we're going to get into.
We do have a lot of things to talk about today. Again, we will be having a few special guests coming on, so looking forward to that. As usual, our Women's Wednesday.
Yep.
So get ready to get delivered on that one. But also we do have a lot of news being delivered that we're going to dive into, especially looking at what's going on in Bellevue West. I don't know if you heard about this protest that's happening, but students are active, man.
Yep.
Students are active, and actually that's what I want to talk about is the student activism that we've been seeing. Again, if you remember last year, there were walkouts at Central High School. I think Benton students protested as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. I want to give the students an opportunity to be heard. So we'll definitely dive into that situation. Also, big shout out to everybody who's a part of the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. Definitely go and check out this latest post on the Turnback tax. There's quite an interesting conversation between brothers Vaughn Chapman and Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on both of their names about the Turnback tax and some ideas. And I want to continue that conversation here on the show. Again, the Turnback tax committee meeting is coming up. They are looking for ideas. They are looking for proposals, projects, anything that will, again, help build up the economic base and fight poverty in the community. So again, we'll talk about that and also the conversation surrounding that. As always, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard, especially if you have any ideas on exactly some projects that could be good for the Turnback tax program.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of these programs, TIF making its way back in the headlines. The Omaha City Council recently voted to rescind a couple of TIF projects, so we'll talk about that. And then also Omaha City Council reconsidering a few of the charter changes, the most namely the one for a proposal on the Omaha mayor's ability to retain power when out of town. I would definitely love to hear more on that conversation. And Paul, you're asking what other changes were made to the charter convention suggestions. Again, whichever charter convention change makes its way through city council, it will end up on the November ballot. So exactly what else are we expected to see on the November ballot?
Or
Again, it's
not
right
see.
around the corner. Yeah, or not see. That's a good point. So we will be talking about all that and more throughout the show. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you would like to discuss, feel free to drop that into the chat. Again, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling here for the next 2 hours. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Let's go.
Yep. What up? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Thank you for all of you that have gotten up so early this morning with us and ready to jump into this discussion or just coming on to say hi. Shout out to the ghost listeners that are out there too as well. We really appreciate everybody that is joined in. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show. Share the show on your page so we can get as many people talking in the discussion as possible. And if you're on YouTube, thank you for that. Trying to grow that YouTube audience as well. So like and subscribe and tell a friend about us on YouTube. And we really appreciate that if you did that. So this is a discussion show. We kind of take some of the headlines from, especially from Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page. If you're not a part of that, you probably should be. That's where a lot of discussion happens when we're not live on the air, and ideas that people want to, they give us ideas on what they want to talk about, what you guys want to talk about. and drop them in the Friends of First Sky Omaha group page there. And those are some things we'll be discussing when we're on air Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So thanks for joining us again. Lots going on that we're going to jump into and talk about. I see a good morning from Brooke. God morning from Brooke. What's happening, Brooke?
Hey.
What's going on with you? Good morning. Good morning. And once again, all of you that are in the chat ready to talk, let's get this show on the road. We got special guests coming through here. As a matter of fact, I'm on the phone. I'm on the text right now trying to guide Kimara on. But Kimara Snipes, what's good in the hood, is happening today, as well as Precious McKesson coming in. We'll be politicking with P on this Women's Wednesday edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. In the meantime, between time, Buddy, what's on your mind?
Well, we'll pick up kind of where we left off on Friday, or kind of where we started, really talking about schools, jumping into that conversation. And student activism is really where I want to end up, but I'll kick off with a story. Shout out to, again, Brother Von Chapman, who dropped this in the Friends of First Sky page. Again, if you're not a member or a part of the group, definitely make sure you check us out on Facebook. But this coming out of actually Nathan Hale. There's more issues on transportation and school bus. Apparently, a young boy, 11-year-old boy, was hospitalized after he was attacked on a school bus, and the family is reaching out to the school and going back and forth with OPS to see if the student who attacked their son will be held accountable. So yeah, more and more issues with OPS. Definitely looking at what's going on with student behavior, but also teacher behavior is becoming an issue. This coming out of Bellevue. Both of these stories are reported by KETV 7. But also teacher behavior is making its way to the headlines. This out of Bellevue West. Students actually walked out of class on Monday after they were upset to see a teacher come back to school. They said the teacher used a racial slur in class last week, and now the district won't share the teacher's name or say exactly what happened as far as disciplinary actions, and that is leaving students pretty upset. Actually, again, there was a protest in which students were questioning and demanding that the district let them know what, if any, disciplinary plans were being taken. And apparently the school did not answer their questions and actually responded by calling the police, and which, as we know, escalated the situation. One student, sophomore Ayana McCoy Johnson, said the situation ended up escalating and we weren't expecting that. It was supposed to be a peaceful sit down. However, Bellevue Public Schools said that they do not condone the use of racial slurs in any manner, but students want action, not words. McCoy Johnson and Christian Johnson, another student, actually want the teacher to be terminated. One student saying the word isn't just an accident, and word, it's not a small word. So it hasn't necessarily been reported what the teacher exactly said, but again, this is an increase in activity from students, again, walking out of schools, protesting, having their voices heard more, which I do find interesting, especially in light of, what happened in 2020 and just the youth activity since then.
So I read somewhere, I think it was on it might have been on the post from some people that were there, firsthand witnessing of what happened, and the teacher yelled out the N word. And then I guess there was some kind of incident where they were running down the hall, yelling it. The teacher was running down the hall saying it over and over, or something like that, to that effect. Got to definitely check in and find out if that is the case, if that's true. But anyway, nonetheless, something happened. The students are standing up and they're demanding these things, and so it's a interesting thing that it's hard to get any kind of rise out of the faculty sometime unless they do something like walk out. And they've been exercising that, especially since seems like since Freedom Summer, there's been happening a lot more frequently, where the students are had enough and when they're walking out. So, is that the right thing for them to do? Is that is OPS responding to that in the way that it should? I don't know about any police needing to be called for those types of things, because that, like you said, the escalation is pretty pretty inevitable at that point. But is there a better way? Is there a good way to be able to do it safely, or And the other issue is, I remember when we were talking about like Benson, students walked out. They suspended them for leaving school, or
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's the other part of it. Can kids walk out and protest and not be in fear of being expelled or suspended from school, or some kind of disciplinary action happen over these things? And speaking of disciplinary action, what will happen to the teacher for doing this?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what they will do, and in regards to the police presence, I don't think that was the best response. Actually, students said that the police presence actually did not make them feel safe at all. It made them actually more nervous. One student said a lot of people were nervous, like a lot of people were like they had firearms, which again is not the best optic, to say the least. But
Right.
again, I am interested in seeing, and hearing really more from students. I would like to see if there are some, youth organizations, the youth leadership organizations would love to talk to, them to see, just give them a platform. I feel like, it wasn't too long ago that I was a young person in school and, interested in what's going on in my community. So it's always nice to give them a platform and have them be heard. And actually, I'm going to bring this back up when we talk to Precious to see if there are any, political organizations, or is the Democratic Party doing anything to give a platform to the young people for them to be heard as well.
Good question. I got one more little side point to this story too. Is it was brought to my attention that there's not a whole lot that we are that happens in Bellevue that's in the news that we talk about in a specific area of Omaha.
Hmm.
And we were talking a little earlier about, there's a lot of the black communities. There's a large part of the black community lives in Bellevue, and it was kind of interesting. It's like, has it even been in the news until something happened to a teacher with the racial slur? Happened.
Hmm.
Has anything gone on over there that we have been paying attention to? Is it even? Could I go so far to say that it's even part of the east side? Kind of. It's on the other
Hmm.
side of South Omaha.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely a black community. There's definitely a community, other communities of color over there. It's a very military area because of the base. Um, so there's always people that are coming in from other places. But again, I've heard I've kind of on the side heard stories and things that has gone on over there that hasn't really made the news or
Mm.
was enough for us to really talk about. But I just think it's pretty interesting to think that of that certain areas of Omaha that never really get talked about until something happens like this. So, if you have any insights, I'll put it to the chat. You have any insights
Yeah.
on our community over there in Bellevue? I know we have a few listeners in Bellevue. I know that for sure, because those are the people that hit me to this. How many times did we talk about Bellevue out there? So yeah, let us know about that in the community. If you're in the military community there as well, if there's more attention needs to be paid to some of the communities out there. Um, really only bring it up when something happens, and,
Hmm.
and so that's pretty interesting stuff. Just a little side note. Just was thinking about that particular area and how maybe our communities there are a little bit underserved when it comes to news, when it comes to what's happening, and if they're benefiting from anything that we are talking about here, would also be something I would be wondering about. So
No, that's a real good point. It's a really, really good point, especially when you consider, how many brats, are living out there, and army families that might not necessarily be from the Omaha area, but call the Omaha area home. I would be interested in that demographic. So if you are, living in the Bellevue area, let us know. Is there something in that community that we're missing? Because to your point, um, if I think about it, really the only time I ever do hear anything about Bellevue in the news is dealing with the schools.
mm, yeah, I remember there was something that happened in the fast food place there a few years back that I remember being
Was it
some.
was that where the Sonic shooting was? Was that in
Yeah.
Bellevue?
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like this, it's far in between that Bellevue even gets talked about in our world anyway. And
Mhm.
then it's always because there's something that happened, like a tragedy or a teacher using a racial slur. Wanda Lewis in the chat says it's almost like a separate gated community that does everything internally. So yeah, sometimes that's the viewpoint. You know what I mean? Like she said, military investigation style. Yeah, that's the feeling is that it is its own kind of separate territory over there. That we don't hear much. It's all a lot of internal news and stuff going on. Don't really hear much about it, but I know for a fact I got a couple friends that live in Bellevue. Every time they take me out there, we hit the soul food restaurant out there. Like there's some heads out there. So and as a matter of fact, we got 3 or 4 listeners that I'm thinking of now that are in the area of Bellevue. So if you're listening this morning, let us know. Let us know what's happening. Kateri Human Pedal gives us a good morning with some sunshine. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all of you. I just want to give you a reminder, if you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show on your page. Appreciate that very much. So question of Bellevue. Rome's Review says, growing up in Omaha, Bellevue historically has a don't go there protocol.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, if our listeners that are in Bellevue like to hear from you and let us know, what's the vibe? What's the vibe there? What's going on?
Definitely, and we'll pay attention to see. I would like to see what happens with this teacher, if they will be held accountable. Again, not necessarily sure what was said, but it was enough to upset the student. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation. But sticking with the schools conversation, this is big news, I would say. But still interesting. This is out of CNN. Apparently, 60 high schools across the United States have started offering advanced placement courses on African American studies, which apparently will be offered to all schools that are interested during the 24-25 school year. And apparently, this is a first of its kind pilot program, which will expand the following academic year. Again, and this will allow schools and colleges actually to secure valuable credit and placement policies and universities to get in line with this. And actually, high school teachers involved in the studies pilot program gathered at Howard University over the summer to review the framework of the course, which is set to launch again this year, which actually renowned educator Dr. Henry Louis Gates held the new curriculum, saying that the course has been rigorously vetted and should not be confused with the critical race theory concept, which is interesting. Again, CRT caused a lot of hoopla last year when parents responded saying that they don't want their students to learn CRT. They don't want things like the 1619 project to make its way into schools. And Dr. Gates made it abundantly clear that this is not that. He says AP African American Studies is not CRT. It's not the 1619 project. It is a mainstream, rigorously vetted academic approach to a vibrant field of study. But again, speaking of student activism, speaking of students wanting their voices to be heard, as we've seen in this Bellevue West story, Paul and I actually had a sit down, did a roundtable with several students from the Omaha area who are fighting to get social studies and just to see themselves in their curriculum. So I'm sure that they're excited to see this type of thing happen. But for me, I'm a little apprehensive. I'll be honest. But before we get into why, I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts.
Yeah, definitely put out to the chat. What do you think about this situation? Yeah. When I first read it, I was excited that there's 60 schools that are bringing African American studies to the students, and so and that's in a time of book burnings and curriculums being torn down all over the country. This big old CRT fight, critical race theory fight. And everything that's going on, they're still pushing for African American studies in high school with the beginning of this 60 schools adopting this. And then, of course, on further thought, and before I get to the second thought and further thought, Henry Louis Gates is a educator that I admire, that I would listen to normally. But he kind of threw me off with that phrase. This is a mainstream. As soon as he said mainstream, I guess I'm a musician. I've got something against that word.
Man.
As soon as he said mainstream, I'm like, and then saying what it's not critical race theory, it's not 1619. Well, then what is it? If 1619 is history, so what then what's the rigorous? Okay, so and then Buddy, of course, we talked before the show. You brought up some points about why you're skeptical about this, and that made me think, okay, that's interesting because you're right. Now that it's there, how is it being taught? Who's controlling it?
Right. Who vetted it?
Is it first of all, who vetted it, and also like what's going to happen when it's in there now? Because now we were hoping that the right messages about African American studies are going to be taught, but it's real easy for the powers that be are still the powers that be, and it's real easy for them to switch up, and make something, they could just turn that class around.
Yeah, I mean, this can get convoluted really quickly.
Very,
Really
very
quickly.
much so. Very much so.
Yeah,
But
and
mhm.
I'm in the same boat with you. Like that word mainstream. Just when it comes to our history, anything that's mainstream is most likely either incorrect or missing a lot of information.
Well, mainstream, first of all, when anybody says mainstream and we're talking about in America, we are absolutely talking about the master narrative that Toni Morrison talks about, which
Mm.
which means that anytime you got to do anything mainstream, that means you have to have a whole lot of the majority of white people adopting something. And that's what makes a thing mainstream in America. So that's why that use of that word is a little sketchy to me. You really got to kind of figure out exactly what he means by it's been vetted thoroughly. This is not 1619 Project. This is not CRT. It's a mainstream. What's the quote again?
A mainstream, rigorously vetted academic approach to a vibrant field of study is what he called it. Again, it's a step in the right direction. It's a small W, but yeah, more questions should be asked. The curriculum will be an interdisciplinary look at the history of civil rights, as well as African American music, literature, the arts and humanities, political science, geography, science, and will explore the vital contributions and experiences of African Americans.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess the only thing to do is see what this curriculum looks like. So if and also where are the 60 schools that are doing it? I wonder if they have a
That's a good
list of
question.
60
That's a
schools.
good
Yeah,
question.
I'm hoping one is in Omaha so that we can ask a teacher
Hmm.
what's going on that particular curriculum. So, and I wonder if that's open to the public too. What is the curriculum there? I don't know how that works. I don't got kids. Can you go to your school and find out what the curriculum is that they're supposed to be learning that year?
I know they still hand out like syllabi. You gotta sign the with the syllabus. You gotta sign that. Maybe that's on there. I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah. We'll see. 7:33 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, Pops in the chat says, "When I was a little guy, our family used to go to Bellevue for tacos, so I've always held the Bellevue in high regard." Pops holds any place that has good tacos in high regard. So, so I understand. I understand.
Okay.
I think all those tacos moved a little closer to us now. I think they're all in South Omaha more so. You know what I'm saying? Marianne Williams, who I want to give a shout out to, who's been putting a whole lot of articles in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. She says AP courses are college level courses. The curriculum must coincide with what's being taught in colleges for the student to receive college credit. I think Howard signing off as willing to give credit for the course is a good sign. Very good point. I was thinking of that too. That they went through the college to be able to figure out that was some of the vetting that happened there was through Howard. So like
Mhm.
it puts a good spin on it. And like I say, man, Gates is my dude. So I hate to question when he's talking about this mainstream stuff, but rough, rough.
Yeah, you gotta ask the questions, man. Gotta ask the questions. But yes, Howard being involved again at HBCU, one of the HBCUs, and not FAMU, but it's all right. It's all right.
They
But
are.
no,
They good too.
seriously, our vice president, sister Kamala Harris, is a product of Howard University, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely, one of the good institutions to go through. But I am curious to see, and the fact that AP is a college level course is interesting as well. Like, what about the students who aren't necessarily on that level, who might need this type of education? which is also interesting. The fact that you're pointing out it's a college level course because CRT is college level, like it is being taught on the college level, and the fact that he's making it. Dr. Gates is making it clear that this is not CRT, although this is a college level African American studies class. It is very, very interesting. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes on this, see how this plays out, especially when it becomes available to all schools. Will there be Omaha schools interested? Definitely in light of what just happened at Bellevue West, where we see this type of program, in those types of schools. We'll see. We'll see.
There you go. We're going to move on. It is 7:36 right now, and we are supposed to be politicking with P. And guess what? Precious McKesson is in the house. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning.
I had a
good
long
morning.
pause. I didn't know she was looking this direction. I had a long pause going on there. I was like, is she looking over here?
Yeah. Almost caught her slipping. Almost.
Yes, I'm hot. It's like,
What's going on over there? Is it
You
hot?
got the church fan?
it's just I mean, number one, you rush out the shower and stuff and you're trying to hurry and get over here.
Oh yeah. What does your shirt say today? Let me see.
Don't disturb my peace, my joy, my vibe.
Man, see, where do you get your shirt? I need to go shopping with you. I'll be there next week. We going shirt shopping.
Look, me and Precious.
I'll send you the links. I order them online.
Let me know.
Me and Precious be battling on the shirt game for real, man. She got I'm the same way. Like I gotta have the right shirts saying the right things. I love that the whole it's like a tag that you have before you even open your mouth. People know where you come from.
Yeah. I bought one when I went to the state fair last weekend. There's this lady who sells like all these. She has like some really nice shirts. And no, I didn't get this from TD. This fan. No, this is from the ACLU. Yeah.
Hey,
but I'm sorry. So yeah, so I got this shirt, and my favorite one was "Don't be a salty heifer," and it's a cow, a picture with a cow, and a cow's tongue is in their nose. And I can't find. I got it like 3 years ago, and I love this shirt because it's just too cute. And
well,
so when
that shirt right there, girl, that's country.
She had them still, and I went and got it. And I was like, oh my God, I bought this shirt from you about 3 to 4 years ago. And I really wanted this shirt. And she said, I have them. I was like, oh my gosh. And I just bought me 2 of them because now, and I bet y'all end up finding the one that I thought somebody stole.
There you go. I do that too. I definitely buy. I'm on if I find something that I know works, I'm gonna buy 2 of them because I'm the kind of cat I will wear that shirt out. So yeah, then I'll be mad because I ain't got it no more. So yeah, it's funny. The shirt game is something else, man. I learned it going to NAMM one year, walking around with a Funkadelic shirt on. I had something on, and Bootsy stopped me and was, "Hey man, that shirt's cool." Everybody was bigging up the shirts, and I was like, "Okay, it really says something. You ain't got to say nothing. You just walk up on somebody, you got the right symbol going, and there it is."
Nice.
So two funny stories. So the first one is I think Kimara wore one the other day. I had got we have this shirt that says "Your neighborhood dopeness dealer."
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because when I got the shirt, I was like, And I said, because whenever I would see it, they would kind of like, pause and it's like dope. I'm like, dopeness dealer, like neighborhood dopeness dealer. So I gave one to Kimara also. I just thought it was a real cool shirt. And so then when I was doing the elector part, and I'll never forget this, and this lady called because all during the pandemic, all you saw me in was t-shirts and blazers, and all my t-shirts had some type of saying on it. And so she called the party and was like, with Precious going down to cast the electoral vote, do you think we could maybe fundraise some money so that she can have like a really nice wardrobe when she goes down?
Try to lace you up.
Man.
So Kevin was like, so our communications was like, do you not know Precious? And she was like, well, I just don't ever see her dressed. And he was like, it's a pandemic. He said, but Precious is one of the most fashionable people you'll ever meet.
Take some notes.
Yeah, right. She wanted to like raise money because she said I didn't know how to dress. I guess she thought it was whatever t-shirt. I mean, the only t-shirt I would have wore was the one that said "Bump Pete Ricketts," but my mama knew so I couldn't do that.
Keep it clean for moms.
I think the older generation doesn't understand that the t-shirt is the new statement for generations that come after them It's a very, very important piece of where it's kind of like where you stand on stuff. It's really, and then the quality of the shirts and the things have changed because people know that that's going to be that was up under that blazer. You know what I'm saying? So it's an important piece for sure. But
Erica, I'm just laughing when Erica said she wanted to gentrify your clothing, but I'm gonna say I rocked a mean Gabrielle Union suit that day.
Hey.
So everybody don't know that suit I wore was actually from Gabrielle Union's line. So
right.
Okay. Represent. Speaking of that, really quickly, hey Miss Erica Felt, hey Sister E, definitely get well soon. Thanks for popping in and joining us this morning. Again, for those who might not know, Erica Felt is recovering from her surgery recently. So again, if you'd like to help, the meal train link is still in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Big shout out to Miss Erica Felt.
Yep. Appreciate you coming on in this morning and letting us see that you are still part of the chat chiming crew. So that's what's up. Precious, I know that you're sitting there hot, got the church fan going. So we want to make sure that we can jump in with you and talk about a few things. I know that Buddi had some things that he wanted to bring up and get your opinion on. So let's go ahead and jump into it. It's 7:41 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and we're here with Precious McKesson right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning, yes.
Good morning, all folks. Good morning, Mama God. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Share the show. There you go.
Yes. Good morning. And yes, we were actually just talking about schools and what's going on with the youth. And this is a question I actually wanted to ask you a couple of weeks ago in regards to getting out the vote. Again, November is coming up very quickly, and we've seen just what Bellevue West students walking out, but we've seen students protesting in Central. We've seen students protesting in Benson, and a lot of those students who are protesting and getting active in 2020 are now 18, 19, 20. So I'm just wondering, what is your opinion or what are your thoughts on the youth vote? Have you seen any efforts or increases in the youth voting, getting more politically active? And is the Democratic Party engaging in any youth programs or anything to give them a platform?
Definitely. So yes, I am seeing an increase in youth participation, and just let you know, we are 69 days until the November 8th election, and then ballots will start being mailed out on October. I think it's October 3rd or October 8th. I'll get the right date again. But we are seeing a uptick in youth being more involved. Now, are you talking about the most recent Bellevue West walkout?
Yes.
That walkout was not based on politics. That walkout was based off of a teacher using an inappropriate word toward another student, and parents. So we are seeing how kids now, and not saying that that's not, that doesn't go politically, but it's good that kids are now standing up, using their voices. If we go back to 2019 after the Parkland shooting, I literally said after that day, after we had that shooting, I literally said, y'all need to start watching these youth, because these youth will be voting soon. These youth will be voting. And a matter of fact, it wasn't 2019, it was 2018, because that was during a time where Central, we saw the big walkout at Central. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it was either 2018, 2019. But I know we saw the youth getting more involved, and I know Carr Eastman's campaign during that time in 18 saw a big youth component. But then you also saw a big youth component, which may have always been there with the Republican Party, but those kids became really extra vocal. Like those kids started coming to school board meetings, town halls, been very obnoxious, meaning on the Republican side, where you had the students who were really mobilizing, staging the walkouts, were really talking about, we need change. I think David Hogg from who was one of the leaders, they did a March for Your Lives tour here in Omaha, and they came and they did a big one. We had helped them organize it down at the Hilton, and they really got kids really captivated and really involved, because number one, it wasn't just kids that came from Parkland, it was kids that came from Chicago, kids that came from St. Louis. So you had all kinds of kids who come from different economic backgrounds coming into a city and talking to youth about why it's important to vote. So you are going to see a bigger engagement with youth. You're also also seeing younger kids running for office, and I shouldn't call them kids, younger adults who are eligible to run for office. I mean, we have a young man, and I think Thomas Burns, he's running for mayor of Bellevue, and I know he's under the age of 30. I met Thomas when we worked at the clerk of district court together, and he worked in the library, and he would bring up legal filings and different things. And now he's running for mayor. He sat on city council in Bellevue, and now he's running for mayor. So we are seeing younger generations that are running for office. I mean, just for instance, look at Brianna Fool, who's running for OPS school board. I think everything is really starting to show that the younger generation is trying to say, you know what, it's time for us to have a seat at the table, have a voice, have a say, because everything has always been ruled off or determined by people who are older. And I'll say this, and not to be disrespectful, I met with Majority Leader Steny Hoyer on Saturday, and he said something. I'd already read his bio, but when he said it, it really like, ooh. He said he's been in Congress for 42 years. I'm only 43.
Been
42 years. Look at me, my eyelashes. 43 years, 42 years. I'm 43. And then I look at his demographic of his area. He has like some, he's in Maryland, so he has some Baltimore. He has a lot of urban. He has some rural. So, but just imagine somebody's running every 2 years for the past 42 years. And you mean to tell me no young person, not saying they should. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell nobody. I don't know. We got listeners in Maryland. We might do, but I ain't trying to tell y'all to go. I ain't trying to tell y'all, to run against a DM. I'm just saying there's not been a young person who's been motivated enough. But then that shows you that we have people who are in office and who are able to run based off of the money that they raise. And be able to, and they'll outraise us, as young folk. And I consider myself a young folk. So, yeah.
So he was there. He was there all through the wire years and everything. But Baltimore was real. So so nobody challenged that. Nobody was able to come up and give some better ideas in all that time. That's interesting.
That's par for the course, though.
And Marion, and I'm glad she brought that up. The young man down in Florida, 25 years old, Black man, running for Congress, and most likely he's going to win that seat. And I think he will be the youngest person in Congress, because it is the minimum age for you to run for Congress. So we have some great. We have people who are running, and we have the younger generations. We have their attention, and I think they're just tired. They're tired and they're ready for change. And so I'm all for anybody who is a young adult and who wants to make change for running for office. And I'm willing to help them in any way possible, because again, if you look at the older generation, didn't do a succession plan for us. That's why they're still sitting in those seats, because they don't want to give up those seats. So it's like battling now at the age between 35 or I say 30 and up to battle. Jazari Call, he just commented, Jazari, young man who ran for Congress. Like, we have to be able to embrace the younger generation, and as well as giving them money to help them, because again, it takes money to win. Hi, Jazari.
Hey.
When you think about it, if you vote at 18 and you graduated at 18, then it's really you were in high school for 4 years grooming your ideas on what it is that you're going to do and who you're going to vote for by the time you right when you get out, and getting all fired up to do it. That's what student government is all about and stuff in school. So like, it's really interesting that people don't pay more attention to that demographic, more attention than they should pay more, I should say.
But it's not. I don't think it's not paying the attention. I think they pay attention, but the fact is, they talk about all the student government, all these things in government class, but they don't. They need to really have a good civics. Like, what does it take to run for office, money wise? Because like Christy's saying, they can't afford to run for office. That's the one barrier. I tell you, anybody can get out here and talk about the issues that are impacting everyday lives of people. But when it comes to the money to be able to compete for those ads, those TV ads, those palm cards, that literature that you want to give out, that's where the barrier comes. And then you have people, I mean, I'll be honest with you, let's keep it 100. You have people who say, I'm all for Black people. I'm all for Black people having a voice. But as soon as we go to run for office, they get silent and they don't even want to donate to Black people. They'll be like, oh, I have to vote the other candidate. Oh, But you say Black Lives Matter. You believe in what we want. You believe in our mission. You want to sit and you want to have these talks with. And I'm being honest. I see that all the time. And I'll never, ever not talk about that part. I will never leave that silent and let people not realize that that's what happened, because let me tell you something, that is my truth. And that's why, again, I know that it would be a person like me. I don't care how many people like me and say, oh, Precious, you should do this. I know there's a few that wouldn't even donate to my campaign just because of the color of my skin and because the way that I speak.
And because of the t-shirts you wear. I understand. The chat's going off. I really appreciate everybody that's jumping in, giving some new amens. Jazari, that's a new name for me as far as being here on the chat. So thank you. I do know that you run and we know who you are. So appreciate you coming on and speaking here. Also, Christy Norris saying that part. That's what it's all about. Wanda Lewis is the only person I know that won their seat with very little funds was Ernie Chambers. And it's funny. I was thinking of Ernie Chambers when you were talking about secession plans, because guess who his successor was and who got groomed. And it's the cat that I feel like is doing some of the biggest things in Omaha right now. Terrell McKinney, put some respect on his name.
And a young person.
And a young cat too. Very young cat, and is holding his own. Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado, I just want to give a shout out to a big bro in the chat, Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado, out in Texas now. Woo, what's happening?
But my thing is, though, we have those people, but again, we shouldn't have to ask them. They should automatically be like, okay, you know what? We have these young people out here. Let's start grooming them. You know, yeah. I never forget. I had an elder in the community, and she literally was in Target. I'll never forget this. And she was like, "I want to apologize to you," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I just want to apologize for not taking y'all by the hand and having a plan for y'all, because now y'all in the mud, y'all fighting for this every day." But again, so many people are scared. They are there, and we say we politicking with P. Mm-hmm. I promise you. When I look at, there's people out here who don't want to give up that power because they feel that once they give up that power, that nobody will remember them. Give up the damn power. You're done.
Yeah.
Point blank. Marion Williams just put a comment. Senator Wayne's term is up. Trust and believe. We are starting to look for his replacement. Trust me. We know.
Yeah, those of you ghost listeners listening, Marianne Williams says Senator Wayne will be term limited in a few years. I didn't think about it till she said it right now. So his replacement needs to start running today. Precious is saying that they already are working on that. Also, Sean McCarthy brings up another really good point too. He says another barrier is the cost. So many positions for local positions pay a meager salary, and those positions are usually taken by someone that can afford $12,000 or so position. Oftentimes, that position goes to someone who has plenty of money and time.
So let me do a correction on that. Senator McKinney works in that position. Is in a position where I think he's making $12,000 a year. I mean, it's public knowledge. The senators in state Nebraska work $12,000 a year. I think Senator McKinney is maybe the only one who works a regular job, and I should say that is not running an organization. So I think I know he's in law school. He's coaching wrestling up at North. So I think he might have another. He has a full-time or another job or part-time, some type of job. But everybody else is like a lawyer, doctor, banker, farmer.
Right.
Running nonprofits.
Or married and their mate does something to support them.
That is one thing that has always discouraged me from running for state legislature. Now, because it's $12,000, it's $1,000 a month. Your staff makes more money than you. So a person who's running for legislature and who is in there, I'm not going to say this is a point where you'll say it is about the money, because number one, you're making $12,000 a year, and many are business owners. You're making $12,000 a year to go down and fight with them nut jobs, and you making $12,000. But yes, people have small businesses. They're hard to do as a senator, but they have staff. That's what we got to remember. People have staff.
Right.
They're not the only ones running these businesses. They have staff. And I say that because I've worked down there. I know how I've seen Senator Wayne leave his office to go and have to go do a trial or do court and then come back to get on the floor. People have staff in these businesses. They're not the only ones running the businesses by themselves. Right. But again, Again, you have not seen a Black woman in the Nebraska legislature since Senator Brenda Council and Senator Tanya Cook. I want y'all to let that sit in your head real quick, fast.
Wow.
So don't tell me. Y'all politicking with Pete. Don't tell me. If you have not seen a Black woman in the state legislature since Tanya Cook and Senator Brenda Council, they were there the same term. They were there together from 2008 to 2012. Why is that? Because they know you cannot have a person like Precious who can't afford to live off of $12,000 a year. I don't have a law firm. I don't have a nonprofit that's willing to take me under and say, hey, you know what, or this to work and be able to go down there and make legislation. But trust and believe it's going to change. It's going to change in 2 years. I promise you that.
Okay.
No, that's
I can't wait to see what the change is going to be for sure.
Because we have no representation down there. We have no representation for Black women down here. So trust me, it's going to change. That's
heavy.
See in the chat, Conversations with Cheryl Weston. That's a new title there. Thank
Hello.
you. The word on the street is that Ben Gray is lurking in the background and is planning on running for Senator Justin Wayne's position.
Well, they can lurk because they got somebody else that has a bigger name recognition than Ben Gray that can beat them in that seat for LD 13. And I don't care. I'm tired. We can't have the same people. Again, marketing your calendar, send a tweet, send a smoke signal, do something. That seat is going to be green groomed for somebody who is new and who can bring change. And we don't need a Black man there. We don't need a white man there. We don't need a white woman there. We need a Black woman in that seat.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
We were talking to Kimara Snipes. We was like, that might have been a good thing for you to run for at one point. And and as a matter of fact, somebody in the chat told me that. There's chat chimers and some ghost listeners that all were saying, what's going on with Kimara? You know what I'm saying? Let's put her somewhere where there can be some changes made because she's got her hand on the pulse. We see her in the wings over here too. We're gonna bring her in here in a minute. Stay tuned. We do have Kimara Snipes. What's good in the hood popping off next, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, right now we're talking to Precious McKesson. We're politicking with P on this Women's Wednesday edition of First Sky. And Sean McCarthy in the chat says another thing about how those local positions are set up for the wealthy fundraising. You are seeing people of means spending $50 to $100,000 on ad campaigns for positions that pay $12,000. Very interesting stuff. Also, earlier in the chat, I saw Chrissy Norris says if Alicia Shelton had the money that Tony Vargas had, she would have won. I said what I said. So that was the other thing too. I remember that she did some real strong fundraising. She was really on the grassroots level, making those calls and talking to people every day, trying to raise those funds to win that seat. So and Tony Vargas did the same thing. Tony Vargas raised a whole lot of money. And as a matter of fact, he's rivaling Bacon with as much money as he had to raise in order for him to do the same thing. So it's a money game when it comes to the promotion, and that's the media's fault. But it is what it is, and so yeah, it's interesting. Before I get back to you, Precious, Von Chapman says most of the older politicians are millionaires and can fund their campaigns, whereas younger politicians struggle to compete. So just reaffirming what it is that we're talking about on that. And it's got me wheels turning thinking about how is it that we can supplement some of that so that we can help people run and do what they need to do if that's what it is. Or can the law be changed that you can get paid more than $12,000?
So that has been something that has been discussed. And for some reason, I know Marion put it in there. I mean, it's been discussed numerous times in the legislature, but it's crazy because I gotta ask, because I remember I had asked this question why it was, and they said because it's basically taxpayer dollars or something, like they try to make it, but I'm like, y'all trying to raise the taxes anyways. Y'all always doing something. Y'all always trying to, quit playing revenue committee like playing. Like it makes me so mad when they say they can't do something, but technically, I mean, it will have to go into it could if it didn't get passed by law, it could honestly be an amendment on the ballot. I mean, collect the signatures, and then let the state vote, let the voters vote if they want to give a raise to the senators. And I think it should be a minimum. It should be at least 35,000 a year. It should be up there where the city council is, or more. I mean, I would say not more, because then they will they will need to do something. But again, I would say at least be comparable to what city council makes per year.
Yeah, I mean, at 12,000 a year, I see why they taking bribes and lobbyists, weaseling their way in. Like, come on, you know you need this money. Come on, just push my agenda.
Cough up the coins, Vicky Young said. 8 o'clock right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. We're here with Precious McKesson. Do not mess with her vibe. Do not mess with her. She is. We are politicking with P. Before we let you get out of here, we're talking a little bit about a story about the city charter, and how now all of a sudden that issue that was talking about Jean Stothard retaining power when she goes out of town is not going to be on the ballot in November anymore. And it had me wondering what else on that charter has been taken off the ballot that we no longer have a say in whether or not something happens there. Do you know about anything else that has been taken off the ballot? Because I kind of feel like this story about Jean Stothard's going out of town stuff is like a distraction from all the other stuff that's on the charter that is also important. And I'm wondering if they snuck some other stuff in that we can't vote on now in November.
I'll be honest with you, I have not focused on that charter. That my main one was looking at the fact of her having control, and now she's over in Italy until like I don't know, another couple of weeks. So Pete, that's the percentage y'all mayor right now. I want y'all to remember that. But I haven't looked into it to see what has changed, but I will definitely look into that. I think that was one of the main things that they're talking about. I mean, other than I'm trying to think. That may have been the main one, but I'll look into it more. But I really did. I'm be honest with you, I didn't follow that. I did not. I was kind of in my own little.
Yeah. Well, I felt like it was in the news a lot, and it started to feel like, why are they talking about this one particular thing in the charter so much when there's so many other things that are important?
And I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I feel we have a good group of people who were chosen to be on that charter, and to really look at the entire charter as a whole. And I feel like they did what they were supposed to do, and I feel that the city council stopped what they needed to stop, and they will continue to adjust the charter. But again, I didn't follow that, and that is my fault. But I've been focused on this whole vote by mail, midterm, all this stuff. I did not focus on the charter because it was something that I shouldn't say it wasn't important to me, but we trying to get Dems elected. We got a midterm coming up, so I was kind of like over there.
Yeah, definitely work to do. And speaking of that, before we let you go, I did want to kind of get into that a little more. What are you focused on? What information would you like to leave us with? What should we look out for? Again, you said 69 days until the election.
69 days until election. So make sure everybody is registered to vote. Make sure you requested your early ballot to get those in the mail. This Friday, if you want to come and politic with P over at Dina's place at the Highlander Accelerator Building, we will be having a happy hour with Amber Ruffin from 5 to 7. Yes. Shout out to Amber and Lacey. It was actually a last minute thing. Just thought maybe, hey, let's just do a quick little fundraiser and have like a little happy hour. And so if you donate 25 or more, we have these new freedom posters that are really cool. And then 50 or more, you do a signed book of Amber's. First drink is on me. So, just come out, network, meet some candidates, get vote by mail applications. Let's just get amped up for this midterm, because if you not notice, Nebraska is being brought into the spotlight based off of CD1 special election, but also with CD2. That this district is a flippable district, and people are starting to focus more. Don Bacon's on here making lies again. His little ad that he just came out with about the insulin cap. Dude, you voted against it.
Don't mess with the swine. Don't mess with the swine.
It's like, stop lying, dude. But again, just make sure that you come out. You meet some candidates, or if we have candidates, or you come out and you meet some of the staff. We are hiring currently. for canvassers at $25 an hour. So after we get done, I'll drop that link in there. And those will be canvassers focused in the CD2 area. So just know that those will be the main focus on there, but we are hiring paid canvassers for that position. We have some new coordinated staff. So we have a young lady named Jordan Smith. We have Michael Lee, who actually was Terrell McKinney's campaign manager, and we'll be announcing 2 more staff in the next coming days who will be coming on as coordinated field organizers, and they'll be focused on the CD2 area, really getting people amped up, getting people to the polls. But we got so much. This is a very, very nationwide, not just in Nebraska, but nationwide. This is a very important midterm because we can retain majorities, but we definitely need to make sure that we are focused on Nebraska in electing. I mean, we have a governor's race, we have CD1, CD2, CD3. We have so many people up and down the ballot who are running for office to make change, and so we want to make sure that we're getting those people elected. Mama God asked, "What is a canvasser?" A canvasser is somebody who basically goes door to door, dropping off literature, participating in rallies, different things of those sorts, but making sure that we're getting people to the polls and getting people. That's a street sweeper. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sorry, but getting people activated to vote on November 8th. Some of them will do phone calls. So it's not always someone out on the doors. Someone will be making phone calls, getting volunteers for events, but we definitely need all hands on deck so we can make sure that we're getting everybody voting on November 8th so that we can flip these seats and we can turn the dial to really have some power and some control in the state.
Man, that's what we need. That's what we need. $25 also a nice little pocket change. So
yeah. Appreciate you. Happy hour with Amber Ruffin is happening Friday at the Highlander Accelerator. That's what's going on. You're gonna put some information in the chat for us on that, and also on the job that you got that people can take advantage of too. As a matter of fact, so
yeah,
appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
People asking for info in the chat, so definitely hit us up
in there. But just make sure y'all are really voting and make sure y'all getting out the vote and making sure y'all getting people, people always say, well, voting is not important. I think we're starting to see that voting is important. I think people are starting to see that the change has to come. But again, I'm always going to advocate for people to look like me to be in office. So I'm going to continue to recruit and get people running for office because, again, representation matters. And I would be doing a disjustice to my community if I, as a person in this position, am not putting all efforts to recruit people that look like us to represent us in office. It will be doing a disservice for me to be in this position as executive director.
Hear that.
There you go.
Appreciate you. Politicin with P. Precious McKesson, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us and getting up so early with us and all that good stuff. So thank you so much.
Can't wait for what's good in the hood with Kimara. That's a good one. So I'll be tuning in. So y'all have a good one.
All right. Sounds good. Peace. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And thank you for all the support that you guys give Precious when she comes on as well. We're going to jump right into our next guest, man. It's about time that we bring on Kimara Snipes. It was good in the hood.
Hey, what's good?
Good morning. What's going on?
New segment happened right here on Women's Wednesday edition of First Sky Omaha, man. We're so happy to have you on. And really, really appreciate you coming on. I was showing the picture of your promo pic for coming on. I kept going, wait.
You funny. Well, why don't you tell them what you told me? How did even get the right link?
We did. It wasn't all Kimara's fault. It was our fault. We had the wrong email address for her, so she didn't get the link.
Got our wires crossed.
But it's no shame because William King, a partner, the boss is our partner too. And so we're happy that you over there supporting his channel, and we support his channel, support him. It's all love with black media out here for real. So welcome to the first edition of What's Good in the Hood. Everybody's been looking forward to it. And I really, really appreciate you coming on and getting up so early and coming on with us. Where are you at, by the way?
I am actually at Scooters, where I used to see y'all at all the time.
I
typically work from home. As you know, my full-time job is strictly around getting out the vote. And so it's like my world is surrounded by it, but I hate working from home. So I just come up here so get to support a black business and not be stuck in the house all day long.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Man, outside with it, and always on top of things while outside. So we definitely appreciate you.
Definitely trying. Following this money. I don't know if y'all just want me to jump right in or anything, but also shouts out to Precious. I was listening to her this morning, and I was thinking, I'm not clocked in, so I can say I am a Democrat. When I'm working, though, I approach this from a nonpartisan fashion. So I just want to remind people you can get involved through the party, but you can also get involved when it comes to just what I call civic health in a multitude of ways. When I say civic health, I'm talking about the social piece, the political piece, and the civic piece. And neighborhood associations are a great way to do that. It was a large part of how I got started. And so I'll also share later on some information on how you can get started with your own neighborhood association. But I just want to say before I dive off into the money I've been following that a few things have been standing out to me as I've been going through this process. One, I've been experiencing a lot of anxiety. It's real out here, and there's a lot going on, and I just want to advise anyone who's just out here in the community, because a lot of us are, take some time for self-care. Check on you, because this is real out here. One thing that has come to my mind is that, in neighborhood associations, they teach us to be good neighbors. And part of being a good neighbor is holding people accountable, doing stuff like following this money that's supposed to support our community. And I have this experience of, I don't think that some of my elected officials appreciate it when I start asking all these questions. I'm getting some short responses from people who represent me, and I just want you to know that I'm not going to stop asking these questions. And I encourage everyone else to be contacting your elected officials, your city council people, your county commissioners, and your state representatives, because there's money coming into all three of these places, and they can get mad if they want to, but I'm not going to stop. So I just wanted to share that. I think this ARPA funding is showing me some true colors. Money is interesting. And I've had conversations, I have to keep it real. I've had conversations with people that I have trusted and known for a very long time. And when you look at me and you can't even look me in my face, you're looking over here, you're looking over there and everywhere else, and I ask you a question, I feel like you're lying to me. I really know that we have to set up some sort of communication system. And I was talking to Vetta Jeffries from the chamber. I told her about y'all as well, and I'm passing y'all information to her as a communications outlet. We have to have communications between the city and neighborhoods, the state and neighborhoods, and the county and neighborhoods, period. Like transparent, intentional communication.
Yes.
And then, we were talking about candidates, when I ran for office, just to clarify, for people who have an opinion as far as what I should run for or what I should not, I appreciate it, first of all. I love you dearly. I ran for mayor as a reaction because I did create our first COVID-19 task forces, and she copied me. So if I'm doing what a mayor's supposed to do, then why not run? So I'm gonna leave that at that. And so as far as this ARPA funding is, there's money coming into the city, I believe 112 million, the county 111, and the state has funding coming in as well.
And these are all different pots. Just wanted to clarify that.
These are all different pots. We're doing a lot of talk about the state funding that Senator McKinney and Senator Wayne, shouts out to them, worked on. But yes, there's pots of money that have gone into the city and a pot that has gone into the county as well. So as far as the city goes, 112 million, a little over 30 million of that went towards revenue replacement, so general fund losses. It's stated in there that their most significant responsibility is public safety. I have asked my city council person exactly how much of that revenue replacement is going towards public safety. I haven't gotten a response yet. Imagine that. A little over 12 million went to public sector rehire. A little over 4 million went to hotel stimulus. The Omaha Community Foundation and United Way got 600,000. There's several hotels, and if you go, you can see the different hotels that are there. So Omaha Community Foundation and United Way got 600,000, I believe, total. Affordable housing, 20 million. And so the affordable housing is broken up into different segments. Preservation and rehab, 3.8 million. Home buyer support, $800,000. And home buyer support is like down payments, closing cost assistance, supports ownership under 120% of the AMI. I can't remember specifically how you define that. Housing support, another bucket of affordable housing is $800,000. That's for unemployed, underemployed, which is, this says access for vulnerable populations or expand workforce opportunities in affordable housing. I've asked for some more clarification on what that means as well. It talks about senior support. This I found interesting. Tech assistance for emerging developers. I think there are some emerging developers, maybe Black developers in the city, but I just thought that was interesting and something for emerging developers to look into. Job training program for trades and construction related to housing, which I also flagged something in my mind as I think about Von Chapman, and he talks about how, what's the purpose of affordable housing if people can't afford to live it? We wouldn't even need affordable housing if people had the right jobs, et cetera. Another pocket under the affordable housing is pre-development activities, which is $9 million. And that's demolition of properties, feasibility assessments, and property acquisition and or infrastructure improvement. $4 million for development and gap financing. So financing the gap between what traditional lenders will loan to developers and the construction rehab cost. It says that this is a benefit because it increases financing resources. $800,000 is going to capacity builders and operations, which is a one-time investment in operating funds for nonprofit affordable housing providers. And then subrecipient direct costs, $800,000 to Front Porch to track indirect expenses. And Front Porch is the one who is basically, monitoring the disbursement of that $20 million that's under the affordable housing piece. So another piece of that is premium pay, which is $11 million. So basically, everyone who works for the city part-time and full-time staff, too bad they fired me in March, got an extra $10 an hour between July 24th and November 12th of this year. Quite a bit of money went to some different parks. I noted some here, like Mandan Park over in South got $1 million. The J. Creighton Boulevard Trail got $1 million. Elmwood Park got $400,000. Hitchcock $1 million. Kuntz $250,000. The Plaza de la Raza $500,000. MLK $75,000. I just thought I would highlight some of that. But I also noted, within the city, they show on their projects that weren't funded, submitted but not funded. And one that stood out to me was broadband. They didn't fund broadband. They said that the infrastructure is already in place and updates aren't needed. It says that the city staff learned of discount programs with low income cost services. And I guess basically that's supposed to be sufficient. Sounds to me like they haven't really talked to a lot of parents, maybe parents who attend OPS, because I've heard about some of these low cost services. And there's other stuff that goes on behind the scenes, like capacity to, support families that have more than one child and different things like that. Yeah, just 250 for Kuntz Park and only 75 for MLK, Precious. Yes.
So let me jump in there real quick, because we had reported at one point that we found out that broadband, they don't want to put much money into broadband because the wires have already been there. They've been laid there. There's stuff there's infrastructure that's already there that they haven't been using in order to reach certain areas, or to be able to widen the reach, or to be able to have people have a lower bill. And the people that don't have access to broadband, they still don't have that access, even though the infrastructure is there. So it's not surprising to me that they didn't want to put any money to that. But that's really why there's nothing else to really do for the infrastructure. It's already laid there. They just need to make Cox and everybody else turn it on for people, and give it to people. Yeah.
Interesting. So that's good information that you actually shared. So I appreciate that, because people don't always share information, right? I did not know that. And I am definitely not one who says she knows everything.
I mean, neither do we. That's why we're on here talking about it.
Yeah, and shout out to Senator Carol Blood for actually bringing that to our attention. She brought that to us.
Good. So that is pretty much.
So that's interesting. You followed the money for where all the stuff. Then this is money that is going to these places or have gone already.
This is money that I think some of it has, but not all of it. But this isn't the whole 112 million either.
Right.
So I have also asked for some. I have asked my city council person. My city council person is Vinny Palermo about that, and also have not heard back. So the county. There's only about 45 million listed on the website. So I did reach out to the county clerk, who is Dan Esch, and I asked him about the rest of that money. And they had a meeting on Monday morning, which I was trying to see if they had posted it yet, but I have not seen it. Y'all, these meetings, go watch them. The county meetings, the city council meetings, there's interesting things that happen and are discussed, especially around our youth, that I think people should be paying attention to. But I have not gotten that yet. But what was on the website, nonprofits, I didn't list it all here. I wrote it all down in my notes, but some that stood out to me, which these are good things. I saw Omaha Economic Development Corporation, Charles Drew, they both got $500,000. The North Omaha Cultural Center got 100,000 plus. The way I read it, 250,000 for like a community facility. Reconnect got at least 422,000. First Fridays got a little over 56,000. IB Black Girl, 715,000. Nice. And so, yes, so the county hasn't spent, like I said, most of its second half of the ARPA payment of that 55 million. And so the board hadn't determined at that time what they were going to spend it on. So, this is an opportunity, y'all, if you have thoughts around what could transform, right? North Omaha, South Omaha, East Omaha, we have county commissioners. Chris Rogers is a county commissioner. Roger Garcia is my county commissioner. Mary Ann Borgeson is approachable. You can holler at her. There are people on the county commission that you can reach out to, and they are no different than you and I. They just have a fancy title. And so that is what I saw with the county. And then with the state. And so just full transparency, I heard that you were told that you got some misinformation last time I was on here. And so I did reach out to clarify, but I haven't heard back. And I reached out the day I saw you, Paul. Have not heard back yet. But if I am speaking any misinformation, please just reach out to me and let me know. But the information that I've been receiving is because A, I've been researching, B, I've been going to meetings. I'm a pretty stellar note taker. I'm typically pretty on point with my stuff. Almost didn't say stuff. But I just want to put that out there. And so the state funding, that $305 million, 60 going towards the airport project, 20 towards affordable housing, then there is the remainder. This process is driving me a little crazy. I cannot lie to you. So when this started, just for a little bit of background, the state committee that they put together, special committee, issued an RFP. And the RFP is what was used to select Olson Associates, who's doing all these surveys and gathering all this information and creating the criteria for the projects, et cetera, et cetera. The reason the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance got interested in this was because in the RFP, it states specifically that the organization, which is Olson Associates, is responsible for gathering input from impacted communities, neighborhoods, and stakeholders. So when I see neighborhoods being the president of a neighborhood alliance, I think that that's a natural connection, So spoke with my leadership team and pulled North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance into this, and we have created this accountability task force. I've hollered at Senator Wayne. I was told to contact Olson and Associates, which I have done. A couple weeks ago, I sent an email, and Precious was copied on this, everyone. I asked for 4 things. We asked for 4 things. We asked for a meeting with Olson Associates to discuss this process, an agenda of planned events and meetings that are coming up, to understand what the duties of Olson, Alley Pointer, Iconic, Lamprey Nearson, B2 Labs, all these consultant agencies, what their duties are and how those duties align or work with a special committee created by the state legislature, and to receive weekly updates. No response. Okay. So I always reach out to someone on my leadership team first, Don Preister. Not always, but if I'm kind of irate or irritated, I'll reach out to him first. Like, should I do this? Because, I'm really feeling like I need to go off right now. And so basically, we decided that I reached out to Senator McKinney. He gave me another name to talk to. So yesterday, I get an email from John Levy. I don't know him, but I get an email from him talking about the South Omaha process and how they're getting ready to start having these meetings over South. I sent him an email. I'm just like, what's your involvement with this? Because I don't even know who you are. And you sound like you're just taking stuff over, and I don't know who you are. And then I get an email from Olson. They tell me, oh, I got your questions. I'll follow back up with Senator Wayne is going to follow back up with you. So my whole thing is, and I love Senator Wayne to pieces, but he tells me to contact this person. She comes back and tells me to contact him. So I'm just kind of confused. And so I let her know, look, I'm a little confused because I was told to contact you. Now y'all telling me to get back with him. What's the process? Explain it to me. That's all. We just want to have communication. Sona, Nona don't want any money. We want communication and we want transparency about, and I'm going to stick to saying that this is a once in a lifetime thing because now I've heard it from several people. We just want communication and transparency, especially if it's supposed to transform East Omaha. I'm from here. I need to see the transformation. So, that is pretty much where I am at when it comes to following this money.
Yeah.
The process, not going to stop though. But yeah.
I want to speak to that really quickly because I do appreciate, I see the frustration and I want to appreciate you going ahead into that to answer the questions and to figure it out for all of us. And I did receive a text message, and I will say from Senator Wayne, and we are definitely still interested and would love to have him on to speak his piece and to clarify any way that he can. But I did want to say that if there is misinformation coming out from Kimara, who is unlike the average everyday person, if we have Kimara who's going out of her way to get the information, who's taking notes, who's going to these meetings, and she's still coming back with misinformation, then what's the problem? Is it really hurt? And what does that mean for the average everyday person who's just going to work trying to live? Like, how are they supposed to get the information if one of the people who's going out of their way, taking day in, day out to get this information, if they're still being misinformed, then what maybe there's really something wrong with the communication.
Right.
There definitely is. And I will also add to that too, because the communication that we got from Senator Justin Wayne, puts respect on his name, wasn't that Kimara gave any misinformation. He said there was misinformation going on the show today.
Right.
Could have been us because we ask a lot of questions. We don't know everything. We put stuff out there and we listen to the chat chimers, which also, we're all trying to figure this out. So it could come across as if the things that we're figuring out is not. Yeah. So to be fair, we did. We've asked him to come on. We've asked. He's been on before. And I'm sure it's a matter of time before he comes on again. Because this is going to be an ongoing conversation. We need to have an ongoing conversation about what's going on. And I agree with you too, especially the people that are heading up these neighborhood associations, like Precious says, so that they can bring it back, so we can report this back to our community. Because the community, even parts of the community that won't be benefiting from this money directly, still want to know what's going on with it and how it's going to affect their lives in the community that we live in. So keep up the good fight on definitely being diligent on figuring out who to talk to and getting some information from people, and we appreciate all the note taking and everything that you do to break it down. Really, it's super invaluable. Like for you to have broken down the 3 areas that money is coming in, and then to have found out where that money is going is more information than I've gotten about anything for a minute. That I and maybe it's just the way I'm understanding it from the way that you're talking about it, but it feels like I got a better grasp on it than I had in months.
It's not just you. I've heard. It's crazy how ARPA seems to be a large part of my conversation with people. It's really weird. Like, why am I talking about this? But I hear from a lot of people how they just don't have information. But again, this goes back to just communication in the city. Period. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
When they had that fire, okay, that was by my house, and I went to that community meeting, there were 8 government agencies represented. And my question to them was, what was your communications plan for information, something and something, which I pulled from the Douglas County Emergency Response Plan. And none of these folks, but one, had any answer for me. Mm-hmm. And that was the fire department. And even her answer wasn't like stellar, right? I mean, come on, dude. The fire was in South Omaha, and Douglas County issued whatever warning they did in English only. Come on, y'all.
That's crazy. Hey, jumping in the chat real quick tonight, Patterson says consulting agencies always in the thick of it when a significant amount of money is on the table. They just want to be in the way, getting more money than the projects themselves sometimes. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, actually, also
you have people in the community they can be hiring to help them get this information out.
That's what I was thinking.
You think you don't want to get the information out, and you might want to, but let me tell you something. When you don't communicate with me, when you give me the runaround, I think you're lying to me. And now my levels of mistrust or distrust have gone up significantly. That's how you traumatize a community, by the way. And then you want to come out and vote. Stop playing with me. And I will just say this too. As we talk about being able to help Black candidates, I say help quality candidates, quality Black candidates, because every Black candidate ain't the one. But we have to find a way to build wealth. What can we do with this funding that can help to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And then we ain't got to worry about, and I know, I ran for mayor. You want to talk to me about funding? I had Ben Nelson endorse me, Carr Eastman, and Ashford, the greats, right? Still couldn't raise enough money. Only turn around and lose and have RJ Neary try to give me some money to be a political director, okay? We can do this on our own, but we have to find a way to build wealth in our communities. And all this funding coming in here is an opportunity to do that. But we're going to miss it if we're not paying attention and taking advantage.
Just let people know it's 8:32 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Got to give Buddy his singing chops right there.
Yeah.
And we're visited here by Kimara Snipes with a new segment called "What's Good in the Hood." She just broke down the areas that we got funding coming in, and where some of the big bucks, and where some of the places that the money is going. I tend to feel a little bit too like I know that when this started, they wanted to have a lot of there was a lot of people that had ideas of where this money was supposed to go. They already had projects and things that were coming up that I had already earmarked this money for. I remember talking earlier to some other developers that were on that list of people that you said. Organizations that got some funds. So there was a lot of that happening, but there's also a lot of we got more money and we need to figure out where it's going to go happening as well. And then they want to say that they are also adding in, we have to have this correspondence with the people as well, see what the people want to do. I know that us here on this show has been talking about it for months and trying to come up with ideas that we wanted to give the senators and share with them about where some of this money can go to. And it's a tough situation to try to figure out exactly where this money's supposed to go. Yeah. Part of me feels like a lot of the times we don't get the answers all the way is because there's still kind of up in the air what to do, where to go, and how to solve some of these problems. And nobody's giving any clear-cut answers on exactly how to solve things like affordable housing, except for, like when we're talking on here, and we're talking about stuff that Von Chapman says about, first of all, you should be able to pay market price, have a job that you get paid enough to just go get a place wherever you want to get it, and don't worry about making the housing affordable for people. It'll be affordable by what kind of job you have, and so on and so forth. But even there, where do you send hundreds of millions of dollars in order to get us to that point? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So even saying that before I forget with the ballot initiatives, right? Don't forget about the raise the wage. Mm-hmm. I know we still need more, but at least it is a start. But don't forget about that ballot initiative as well.
Yeah, good thinking. That's in November too. What was this supposed to be raised up to? Do you remember?
I believe the 15 is what I was thinking. Is what I'm
still not a living wage.
The ballot initiative for that, and then the voter ID as well. So let's not forget about that either.
Yeah.
The table, we will definitely be sharing some more about that. If you're interested in partnering with the table, let me know too.
And tell people what that is again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nebraska Civic Engagement Table. So we really work with nonprofits across the entire state to really just get out the vote, increase civic health. I right now run all of our DEI efforts, our membership and partnership relationships, and all of our organizing efforts, including our organizer school.
For sure.
Train organizers. So, yeah.
I like that. Mama God in the chat says, if someone states incorrect information is provided, it would be nice if we were told what is incorrect so we can go back to gain better understanding or information.
And I kind of felt like maybe Senator Wayne meant maybe like some stuff in the chat or something, because we've talked a few times. And one thing I don't want to do is spread wrong information. So I say that to say, if I'm giving out wrong information, please tell me. Because A, either I wrote my notes down wrong, or B, somebody's giving me the wrong information.
And for us over here, we're a discussion group, and we're trying to work these things out. We're going to come up with some wrong information. But the whole thing about us is that we come back to fix that wrong information. And because we're here working it out. That's the whole point, is to work it out. You're not going to have all the answers. This is a discussion group, so we can come to some conclusions and some answers. And like I said, man, there's we're making. I don't want to make too big of a deal out of that. We've asked for Senator Wayne to come on and clarify things. He's done it in the past. We have no reason to believe he won't. I don't think anything shady is happening at all. I think that it's a very complicated subject, and we just need more discussion. And I know, we were talking earlier about how people in those seats are only making a certain amount of money, so they're running stuff like law firms. Brother got a law firm, brother got a construction company, the brother busy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no excuse for not having communication. But again, we need so much communication on this particular subject. It's almost like they need to create a little department or something of people that do nothing but communicate this out, because there's so much to talk about and discuss and to fill people in on and so on, that I can't imagine that on top of the senators' jobs they have time to do this all the time.
Yeah, and I know Senator Wayne and especially Senator Wayne though. Like, I know he's catching it. Senator McKinney too. Like, I know they're catching it. Anytime there is this much money coming in, I almost feel bad for them. Like, I would not want to be in their shoes. I'll
put it out there to both the senators, if they happen to be ghost listening, and anybody else who's involved. Tony Vargas, I know Carol Blood was involved. Put some respect on all their names. We can be the communication piece for this. If you would like to involve us, we would absolutely love to go learn about this in whatever fashion we need to do, we can. And maybe you can use us to be some of that communication piece. You in the same way that you can use Kimara, who is in Precious, and these people that are leaders of neighborhood associations that also disseminate this out to the neighborhood. So maybe we can have a group of us that can come and learn in whatever way that it is that you need to teach us, and then we can disseminate some of this information to the public in that way as well. So just kind of putting out there.
Maybe becomes a part of this accountability task force, and y'all can be the communications piece.
With that.
With it. Let's make it happen. Teamwork makes the dream work. And as Paul said, we're all trying to get down to the nitty gritty to figure this out together. And it definitely is going to take all of us kind of doing what we can. So as always, we appreciate you doing what you can. I don't know if Paul, if you had any other questions.
No, man, just a very successful first segment of what's good in the hood.
Yes.
And let me get your promo picture up. Wait.
Y'all ain't gonna keep on doing me.
No, we appreciate it.
Here's part of the segment that I do want to add to this segment. The last question that I want to ask you every time you come on and do this: what's good in the hood? What's actually good?
I knew you was gonna do that to me.
You was gonna do it to you. Give us some good news.
The good news, Thursday night, South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance has our monthly membership meeting. Please come and check us out. We've done our strategic plan. We're getting ready to start organizing at the neighborhood level. And I think that what we're going to be doing can be duplicated. What's good in the hood? Go check out the Why Vote tool. You can look it up. It's created by an organization called Right Question, who's based in DC. Their website is rightquestion.org. They believe in the power of being able to ask the right question. They have a simple document called the Why Vote tool. You look at it, it helps you create conversation. I don't care what your tax status is. We all get some sort of service from the government, be it schools, be it healthcare, be it food, whatever it is, we get something. And because of that, we all have a vested interest in what's happening at these decision-making tables. Check out the Why Vote tool. It's a great conversation piece to talk to people, to get them interested in the voting process. And our plan is to use that within our neighborhood associations to organize at the neighborhood level, because what's good is that every person I know in a neighborhood association is an active voter.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. We're going to drop the link in the chat really quick.
Yeah, let's drop that link real fast. Appreciate you getting that for me, buddy. Let me see if I can work this here. And we'll
again, Precious, let us know. 69 days. It's coming up very quickly. Very, very quickly. Definitely inform yourselves. Be informed voters. Get out the vote.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. You have a great day. Thank you so much. And now that we got the process down, we will see you next week.
Bye. Later, y'all.
Peace.
All right, that's what's up. What's good in the hood with Kimara Snipes. That's what's happening, man. Put some respect on her name. Pop said, great first What's Good in the Hood piece. I love it. So much information. The lady does so much work, man. It's crazy. We'll take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Check it. Don't you touch nothing.
The ballot or the bullet. 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 Since this is the year of the ballot or the bullet, we must understand the politics of our community. And we must know what politics is supposed to produce. And we must know what part politics play in our lives. Become politically mature.
Yo, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Becoming politically mature. That's what we're trying to do around here. It's going down. Thanks for joining us. Everybody that's in the chat, everybody that has joined in on the conversation that we just had with Kimara Snipes, which was epic. So great that she's the kind of person that she does, man, with this research and the things that she does. It's really awesome. She's an invaluable resource, and we really appreciate her coming on. Harry Ire says, great, very informative, and this can be or will be transformative for the North Omaha community and state. Neighborhood associations are essential for salience. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for coming on in. I haven't seen the name before, so thanks for being a new chat chimer. And very wise comment. I definitely feel like the neighborhood associations are where things get locked down. You really have an opportunity. You really have an opportunity to be able to talk to the people in your neighborhoods and your neighbors, on a personal level, and relay information from them and to them. Very, very interesting stuff. So that's what's up. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Actually, really quickly, just an anecdote on the importance of, neighborhood and just the mentality. I remember learning early on, hearing my mom talk about, our neighborhood association. I think it's the Hartman Area Neighborhood Alliance or Association that she's a part of. And, I remember her telling me, like, hey, that's your neighbor, such and such. He's the Neighborhood Alliance president. And, hey, this is your neighbor, such and such. And, like, just growing up, Mom Dukes always made sure we knew our neighbors, which made us feel safe to play in. Like, it just, the community came together when you are aware of who's who and who's living next door. And, you're all coming together, man. So if you're not a part, even if you don't own a home, if you're renting and you're in an area, please figure out what your neighborhood association is, and tap in, because these are definitely resources that we can all use.
So very true. 8:44 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, we got a few more things we want to talk about. You want to do a little lightning round before we get to the haps?
Yeah, man. I definitely wanted to remind people that there aren't just the ARPA funds coming in, but there are several other opportunities and areas to look to for funds. And the Turnback tax grant program is definitely one of those. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, put some respect on his name for dropping this update and let the people know that next Wednesday, 7 days from now, will be the North Omaha Turnback Tax Grant Committee hearing. Again, that's Wednesday, September 7th at 5:30 at Metropolitan Community College. That is the Fort Omaha campus, 5300 North 30th Street. Again, this is the opportunity to have your proposals heard and present ideas on how to spend again the money that's coming in. They are looking for 3 criteria. One is to showcase important historical aspects. Another is to assist with the reduction of street or gang violence, and another, the third one, is to assist with small business and entrepreneurship growth within defined areas in North Omaha. So again, if you are interested, you can reach out to Senator Terrell McKinney. The information is there on the screen. You can also go to Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook to check out the post as well. And then a big shout out to Brother Vaughn Chapman and Senator Terrell McKinney. They had a pretty actually interesting back and forth under this post on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and Brother Vaughn Chapman asking some real questions. And actually shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney for not backing down. I don't want to get too far in the weeds of this conversation, but essentially Brother Vaughn Chapman is asking the very question that we ask a lot of times here, like, how can this relate or translate into real economic development? How can creating businesses in an area where, as Brother Vaughn Chapman says, people can't even afford to pay attention, how will that turn into economic growth and development? Again, we might need to look outside of Omaha, especially if the people in North Omaha don't have the funds to support businesses. And for example, like we've seen with Black Coffee, who announced recently that they will actually be permanently closing, which is very, very unfortunate. But that is almost the fate that a lot of the businesses in North Omaha find. So while, these Turnback tax funds can go to entrepreneurship and businesses, I do agree with Brother Vaughn Chapman that we should start to expand our thinking and how it's not just, build a business in the community is going to magically support it. How can we, make sure that the funds are there to support such a business? Or are we going to see, more Black Coffee, more fair deal market, things like that? It's a reason why we celebrate Idle Vital so much, because unfortunately we don't really see community or organizations or businesses come in our community and thrive the way that they have.
Very true. We're losing them all the time. There's not many when it comes to those kinds of businesses, not many out there left. Because of the reason, COVID had a lot to do with it too, the downturn of what happened when COVID hit, and it kind of knocked a bunch of businesses out. But it's nervous. It makes us lose happiness even when we see something open, because we already are on this. It's going to last a year, maybe. And that's too bad to even not even be able to be excited about the fact that something new is coming. I do think that we definitely need to be looking at more industry. We have plenty of opportunity and space in North Omaha to build certain industries. I'm really on this whole kick about high tech food growing, hydroponics, and having a manufacturing plant that had enough people working and growing, and it being a spot where it comes out of. And now we're selling to the rest of the states and the rest of the country even. So there's definitely more stuff. Rena Williams says support more better vegan eats. We're Black owned. So I appreciate you throwing your business in there. We do want to acknowledge businesses that are still out and up and thriving, and definitely support. But man, we feel for you. It's got to be a struggle to be out in our areas running businesses. I mean, even what we're doing here is a struggle. So anything that happens here, anything that goes on, we really, really hope that some of these funds and some of these programs will help build the wealth, which is really what this is all about.
Right.
Von Chapman in the chat says, "Is there a list of neighborhood associations in both North and South Omaha?" Not sure. Anybody in the chat, let us know. If anybody would know, Kimmer would know.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know if there is one, and if there is, so go ahead and put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I'd love to see a list of neighborhood associations myself, and definitely get involved. And like Kimmer's sister Kimmer says, if you don't have one in your neighborhood, she can show you how to start one.
Yeah. Yes. So it's just look into that to get involved. That's kind of the low hanging fruit as far as the entry into civic engagement. And my mind has been changed, or expanded really when it comes to neighborhood associations and alliances. So big shout out to Sona, big shout out to Nona, and let's try to get that list for Brother Von Chapman and anyone else interested.
There you go. Miss Erica Felt is reminding us that she has the meal. Well, she's talking to Mama God right now, but wanted to shout out more better vegan. She said East is donating meals from my son and I. So appreciate more better vegan. Definitely support because they're definitely supporting members of Friends of First Sky Omaha here. So we really appreciate that. And also thanks for putting the mealtrain.com link in the chat as well. Definitely remember that one of our own, Miss Erica Felt, one of the chat chimers, one of the Friends of First Sky Omaha, is going through a major operation, had to shut her business down for a matter of time so that she can go through the recovery process. So she needs help, and we're here to help as much as we can. So we're trying to raise funds through the mealtrain.com. We're also putting ourselves on the calendar there, which you can do to promise meals to her or to have meals sent to her. She's still going through it, so still please help out, and shout out to More Better Vegan for that. I haven't tried More Better Vegan yet, man. I got to get down. I get on my vegan trip. Right. So I gotta get down with you. Put in the chat where you're located at and how we can get in touch with you as well. More Better Vegan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let us know. But continuing with the lightning round, just about 10 minutes left in the show. This is some good news. Support for what's called untraditional students, people who may have gone to college and did not finish, or are single parents working, may not be able to be a full-time student. There is an opportunity to go online classes at a reduced cost. This is through Western Governors University. A shout out to the Nebraska Examiner for reporting this. And this is a completely online university that Nebraska actually helped fund back in 1996 when Ben Nelson was governor, alongside several other states. And now Governor Rick has recently announced that Nebraskans who have some college studies but did not complete their degree program are now eligible for this. He called them an untapped pool of talent in a world where about 71% of jobs do now require some sort of post-secondary degree. The Nebraska legislature established a goal of setting 70% of the state's workforce ages 25 to 35 or 25 to 34 to have a degree, certificate, diploma, or other post-secondary sort of credential with economic value by 2030. And right now that number is at about 58%. So definitely looking for an increase. Right now, Western Governors University, WGU, offers a flat tuition rate of about $3,750 for a 6-month term in which you can complete as many classes as possible. So again, this might help with some people who are working and need that master's degree to get that raise or to get that, promotion, or just looking to start a whole new career entirely. This can go a long way. And $3,750 for a semester tuition is cheap. That's pretty good. So again, look into this. Again, that's WGU offering flat rate tuition for non-traditional students.
AKA old people. No, I'm just
AKA. Also, another news: the city council did vote to rescind a couple of TIF projects. Again, I know TIF is our favorite word around here. Again, tax increment financing, the redevelopment tool used to kick the tax credit, tax credit down the road, if you will. A few projects have been actually rescinded because those projects did not come to fruition after securing tax increment financing. Those projects include an apartment complex near Exarban Village, a rehab of a building located at 15th and Howard, and then also rehab and expansion of an office building located at 14th and Jones. Again, those projects will not move forward as planned.
What is 14th and Jones and Exarban need TIF funds for?
You know, they're blighted. They're blighted. You didn't know?
These
All
heavily
the
blighted
blights.
areas.
You didn't know? Also, speaking of not moving forward, the city, we kind of talked about this earlier, but again, a proposal for Omaha mayor to stay in power when she is out of town, that will not move forward to the November ballot. There was some confusion there, but city council, after initially accepting and pushing that forward, one of the council members did call for reconsideration. Danny Begley, who said that he made his vote in error and wanted to change his vote, will ultimately led to this issue not making it to the November ballot. Again, we are looking at a few other things that will be on the ballot 69 days away. So get ready, educate yourselves, get out the vote. And yeah, that does it for our articles. So that is the lightning round. Yes,
Appreciate
yes. Just about 5 minutes left. We want to squeeze some haps in.
Yep.
What's the haps?
Make it happen.
What's happening?
Let's make it happen, y'all.
What's going down?
Ladies and gentlemen, time for the haps. It's time for us to talk about some things that are going on, and time for you to tell us about some things that's happening to this week and coming up weekend that we need to be paying attention to and looking for. And before we jump out there, I definitely want to let people know that there's a comedy fest that's happening this weekend, and I'm a little disappointed in the fact that there's not more fanfare for the fact that Amber Ruffin will be in the house. Amber Ruffin is coming back to her hometown of Benson, Nebraska, and she will be at the Benson Theater on I believe it is the 3rd, September 3rd. Another one of them September 3rd things.
Man,
there's actually 2 shows that night, a 7 p.m. show and a 9 p.m. show. If you go to bensontheater.org, you'll see that you can get tickets for both shows, or you can go to either or. And either one's gonna be great. She's gonna be definitely getting down with the improv on the 7 o'clock show. The improv team is gonna be something to check out. And then of course she's got this King of Kong a musical parody that's happening at 9 o'clock. I'm hearing that a lot of people are going to the 9 o'clock one. That's in my social circle. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be there. We're going for both, but let us know if you want to go check out Amber Ruffin at this event. It is brought to you by the Omaha Comedy Fest 2022. It is their show, so that dictates the ticket price and so on and so forth. But definitely go check it out and support the fact that Amber Ruffin will be here in town. And before that, of course, what Precious was talking about on Friday, September 2nd, she's going to be at the Highlander Accelerator Dining Room. Her and Lacey Lamar, and they're going to be helping raise some funds there. And first drink is on Precious, she said. So check it out. You can donate $25, get a signed reproductive freedom poster. Donate $50 or more, you get a signed copy of Lacey and Amber's book, which is amazing. You'll never believe what happened to Lacey. If you haven't read, that's required reading around here.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff. So definitely check that out. Amber Ruffin is back in town. And if you don't know who Amber Ruffin is, what's wrong
with you? Come on,
man.
You got to do better. You got Omaha greatness doing big things out in New York. So yeah, support.
We're gonna work on Calvin Williams coming in on Friday because he's got a big concert coming up on the 3rd as well. This is music performance at the Music Performance Pavilion starring I can't even say his name right. Jaquise and Carl Thomas.
Yeah, that's the king of R&B. You ain't know?
I didn't know he was a king of R&B.
You ain't know?
I didn't know that at all, bro. No. Who is the king of R&B? Let us know who you think the king of R&B is.
Yeah. You remember that whole debate that was going on social media? Who's the king of R&B? Chris Brown and Bobby Brown, and they were all there. Yeah,
well, maybe it is. We'll see what he's bringing with us on the 3rd, right? And Carl Thomas, Beats and Sheets Karaoke. We've been hearing a lot about it. Of course, one of our favorite bands of all time in Omaha, Our Style, is coming through with special guests. Our Style played at our first fundraiser for Mind and Soul, so we always got a special place in our heart for them. That's the fam right there. So definitely check that out. White Rhino Productions again. Remember that name. White Rhino is bringing some killer stuff to Omaha and is always doing the concerts right. They were the ones that did the Donnell Jones show and made sure that we all had places to sit out there, and the bar was tight, and they make it right. So check out White Rhino, and we're going to get Calvin Williams to come on Friday, hopefully, so he can talk to you a little bit more about this concert. Buddy, you got some things you want to talk to people about on the?
Yeah, man. It's jam packed on Saturday. Can't forget Afro Omaha Fest also going down on Saturday at Stinson Park. Big shout out to Afro Omaha, the organization behind that, celebrating our brothers and sisters from the motherland. And again, remember, Africa is a continent, so definitely many different cultures, backgrounds, countries coming out to celebrate their culture and their heritage. Man, go out. Gonna be good food, good music. Some vendors with some nice, crafts, bracelets, necklace, clothing.
Yeah, dude.
Just go and support, man. It's gonna be a good time. It's always a good time. I love seeing how that's growing. So yeah, it goes down September 3rd, Stinson Park, 2 to 10 p.m.
And you said they're celebrating their culture. We celebrating our culture. That's
man. Thank you.
With Afro Fest Omaha. And as a matter of fact, some people are trying to do something about building that bridge between Africans and African Americans. This is happening Tuesday, September 6th. Big panel of some folks, man. Dr. Dale Gines is going to be in the house. Big panel of folks that are going to try to build the bridge between Africans and African Americans. And this is from 5:30 to 8. Let's see if it's at the Essential Gathering Place, 5001 North 42nd Street in Omaha, 68111. Have not been to the Essential Gathering Place yet. I need to go check that place out, see what's going on. But that's happening. Very important talk that's coming up, and I'm glad to see that people are trying to build that bridge because it's more community for us, for real. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that very, very much. Precious McKesson, Carl Thomas is my guy.
Hey, little summer rain.
Carolyn Jackson, Usher the king of R&B now. Okay.
Actually, there's a lot of people who, on a serious note, saying that Usher got it, man. A lot of people saying Usher has it. I mean, you look at the young cats, it's slim pickings.
Convince this old head right here that Usher got it. You got to convince me.
I actually feel like it might not be that hard. It might not be a thing. Who do you consider? Who do you consider the king of R&B right now?
King of R&B, right? Well, see, that's the right now.
Right now, I'm saying you can't. Who would you say?
Oh, okay. She said yes. You have. If you went to the Black Coffee, that's the Essential Gathering Place. Okay, so they're still doing stuff there. That's what's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's what's up. Okay. Rena Williams says Usher. Everybody's saying Usher. I'll look into it.
Man.
We'll see.
I'm telling you.
We'll see. We're gonna get out of here. It's already late, 9:02. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Oh yeah, as always, man. Big shout out to all the chat chimers, all the guests, especially the ladies coming through, celebrating and representing today. Precious McKesson and Sister Kimara Snipes. Again, excited to get what's good in the hood with Kimara going on. So we appreciate that. And as always, catch us next time, man. Same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Excuse me. Right here on First Sky Omaha. And yeah, until next time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away. Get well soon, Miss Erica, as well.
Appreciate that. Next time we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what the Black Agenda Alliance is doing because those brothers are out there on that land and we can help them get that together. There's a cleaning and a clearing happening on September 17th, so we'll talk more about that pretty soon coming up. But shout out to them for making those moves, man. That's what we need more of in Omaha, Nebraska. We are down with the BAA for real. So shout out to them. Shout out to all of you, all the chat chimers. Really appreciate everybody that's chimed into the chat and joined us today. Von Chapman says another great show. Appreciate that, my man.
Thank you, brother.
Bob says love me some Women's Wednesday. Great show and see y'all on Friday. Ooh. Yes, we'll have a more extensive haps on Friday, and because that is the weekend that is coming up where there's all kinds of stuff happening. So Labor Day is on the 5th, and so they're considering this Labor Day weekend. So lots and lots of stuff happening. But stay safe. Remember, COVID is still out there. Things are monkeypox, all kinds of stuff is happening. So stay safe, stay masked up when you go out. Definitely have some space with people. And, now, man, if somebody don't have a mask on, they get up in my face, start talking, I naturally am like,
oh, give me 50 feet.
I need 6 feet, bro. 6 feet, cuz. I know you get out my face, cuz. So, anyway, be safe, and we'll talk about some more stuff. Precious says next week I'll be in DC. I hope I can join y'all. Hope you can too.
Oh, hopefully
from DC. We always like it when politicking from people from DC. Love it.
Yeah. Also, go ahead. Well, I just wanted to say before we get out of here and remind the people that the 13th, this happens that we definitely need to keep reiterating. Ernest Jackson's parole hearing is coming up. Yes. We gotta reiterate that Ernest Jackson's parole hearing coming up, I believe September 13th, and also Ed Poindexter is still not free. So
still not free.
Yeah,
man. Tomorrow is the 1st of September. Keep that in mind. I hate to remind y'all about rent coming up, but it is what it is.
Ooh, my back.
It just kick you while you was down.
My back. Come on, God.
Mama God said, great show again. Appreciate you, Mama God. We cannot have this show without y'all. Kateri Human Petro says, thank you all for the great show. Have a good rest of the week. You have a good rest of the week too. Shout out to Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Well, the small time that we have here on this land, we appreciate them. We appreciate our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And we appreciate all of you, the chat chimers that speaks with us. And, when we say first sky, that means that we got our feet on the ground, and wherever our head is where the first sky is. And that's the place that you can look people in the eye and have conversations. And that's what we're trying to do here. So thank you so much for being a part of that and joining us. And thank you for everybody that is a reoccurring member and sponsor, and new members that are happening all the time too. That monetarily help us run this channel. We've got $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for your attention and your business and everything that we are building together, being a part of what we're building together, this community here of friends. Thanks so much. We will see you Friday. Have a great rest of your week as well. Take care of each other, and we will see you then. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the Red